You say that fear is the source of most unhappiness and underperformance. I love when people throw my own words back at me. What are some tips to overcome fear and fear of failure? This might sound counterintuitive, but whenever I find fear coming up, I always ask myself, what's the worst case? Because I'm one of those people where if I can identify what the worst case is, and 9 times out of 10, it's not as bad as just me thinking that something bad might happen, then I can dispel the fear. So let me give you an example of this. Certainly when I was launching my own business, fear just came up and really became generalized anxiety. How am I going to be able to do this? What if I can't pay my bills? So I actually gave myself 10 minutes one day to say, Lex, what is the worst possible thing that can happen if your business isn't successful? And I said, okay, if it's not successful, I might not be able to pay my rent. And at the time I was living in New York City, so rent was sky high. If I can't pay my rent, what's the worst case that will happen? So natural answer is, well, one of two things. Either I will have to move to a smaller place or have to really humble myself and move in with friends or with family. Right. So then what's the worst case that will happen there? I'll have egg on my face. I'll have to go back and get another full-time job and have to balance working full-time while building my business. Not so bad, right? If that was my worst case scenario at the time. But I can tell you that for most of us, the worst thing that happens is when we sit and stew on what that worst case is, rather than allowing ourselves to be somewhat objective, to step outside of the story and say, what could really happen, and allow ourselves to be okay with that worst case scenario so that then we can unhook from it and allow ourselves to get back to the provocative work of figuring out how do we make what we want to do happen.